Hey, this is Jay Hobbs, and I'm here with Jeremy Tedesco, who is Alliance Defending Freedom's VP of U.S. Advocacy. Jeremy, you were today testifying before a subcommittee with some congressmen. Can you just kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of what you said, what you had to say there?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. The hearing was titled The State of Intellectual Freedom in America. Really broad topic, really important topic. ADF's position is that free exchange of ideas, marketplace of ideas, robust debate and dialogue is crucial to our country. Also crucial is respect and tolerance for people who disagree with us. And we want to extend the same freedom we want for ourselves to others. And so that was the main thrust of what I testified about today before the House Judiciary Committee and the subcommittee on the Constitution. But particularly I wanted to talk about how social media groups and companies like Facebook and Twitter, Google and YouTube are partnering with far-left advocacy groups like Southern Poverty Law Center to target mainstream conservative and religious groups and punish them and censor them and restrict them on their platforms. The Southern Poverty Law Center is incredibly biased, discredited. Commentators across the political spectrum have said over and over again that they really just exist at this point to smear conservatives. And so when the social media companies work in such close collaboration with Southern Poverty Law Center and adopt hate speech policies to target those religious and conservative groups, that's a serious concern. And so we were talking about that today with Congress. We talked about our own experiences at ADF, where we had the real world consequence impact us, where Amazon excluded us from the Amazon Smile program solely because biased and discredited Southern Poverty Law Center says that we are a hate group. And those kind of biased labels shouldn't be the way that these companies operate. When they promise to provide forums that are open to speech and debate and supposed to be a marketplace of ideas.
Now, one of the things that came up, especially with some of the representatives who were there holding the meeting, was to reiterate some of these points that the Southern Poverty Law Center and others have made about ADF. So a lot of what they had to say was that ADF is here to protect discrimination and that sort of thing. What's the response to that? And you didn't really get a chance to respond to it in the in the testimony.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to follow up. So I appreciate the question. And it was Congressman Nadler just said that ADF promotes discrimination by businesses against LGBT persons, and it's simply not true. And what he's talking about are the kind of cases that we just won at the U.S. Supreme Court, Masterpiece Cake Shop versus the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, where Jack Phillips prevailed 7-2 in an ADF litigated case before the Supreme Court. And that whole issue in that case was whether Jack could serve all people, but decline to create custom cakes, custom expression that violated his beliefs. In that case, he said he couldn't create a cake celebrating a same-sex wedding ceremony, but he would otherwise serve that couple and really anyone, no matter what their protected status was. And so, we're winning cases 7-2 at the Supreme Court on the very issue that these congressmen are trying to attack us on. And so, from my perspective, it's a completely unfair characterization, just like the Southern Poverty Law Center does when they talk about us. The reality is, the kind of thing that happened at the hearing today and the kind of things that were said about ADF are the kind of things that stop and squelch debate in open discussion and civil discourse. And we have to be able to at least be charitable to people we disagree with, perhaps vehemently, on really key issues like the definition of marriage, to be able to coexist in this society.
Yeah, one of the congressmen brought up to the panelists, really, what are you here to even talk about? What solutions do you have? Is it government regulation of businesses, which of course, within the conservative mindset is a big contradiction, and so that's really what he was leaning on. You have a little bit different take on it. Could you roll that out for us?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bottom line is we were there to talk about the problem of hate speech policies, and the problem is that very powerful corporations and even institutions like public colleges are starting to adopt these kinds of hate speech policies or offensiveness policies where people can be shut down simply because you don't like what they say, you find it offensive. And that's a principle that's completely inconsistent with the First Amendment and really with our constitutional commitment to civil discourse and debate and dialogue and mutual tolerance and respect for people we disagree with. And so our point was to go there and not ask for Congress to regulate Facebook or Twitter, but to raise the alarm about this growing trend towards hate speech policies, towards policing speech on platforms and in other contexts based on this completely subjective standard. Nobody knows what hate speech is. No one's ever going to know what it is. And that's why it should never be a standard to regulate speech.
Jeremy, thanks so much for your time, and thank you for your support on Facebook, and we'll talk to you soon.